My aunt hotel. Namaste. Free the land, beloved. Come on in, come on in, come on in. My name is Vicki Dillard, and I'm a very proud contributor right here on FlyNubianQueenTV.com, the network for melanated people just like you. Welcome, welcome, welcome to our broadcast today. We are so pleased that you have joined us. I am so glad to be with you today. We have another follow-up war briefing, which is really kind of a part two of the war briefing I did on Christmas morning. But I believe I'm going to draw a very unique distinction between how all of this stuff is playing out with that shot. How many of y'all know what I'm talking about when I say that shot? I'll tell you why I say it like that in just a moment. Let's get through our housekeeping, beloved, before we get ready to get into another true story that you need to know about. And you know we're going to give you the news on the real Black media. All right, beloved, as you come in, please come in giving us the thumbs up, thumbs up. Be sure to like, be sure to share. I want you to know that you can text the word Queens to 31996 so that you're able to receive phone notifications when we go live from time to time. Also, we want you to know that we have a store at Shop F&Q where you can get all kinds of amazing products and apparel, such as this little cute journal here that says grace and peace and namaste and shalom and hotep. And I think they accidentally left off the assalamu alaikum. But stay tuned for more in the future. I love this. You can use this. You can use it as a journal to keep up with your day-to-day projects. And in the back, it has a nice little double pocket, nice cardboard, double sturdy cardboard, double pocket for storing other miscellaneous items and so forth. And also, beloved, we still want to give you an opportunity to get your limited edition 2021 Angels Unleashed calendar. I poured my heart into it on these calendars, dear family. I made a specific thought for the month, for each month, along with a corresponding scripture. It's going to blow your mind. If you are focusing on and meditating on that specific angelic thought and scripture each month, I've put a special address in there for you. Again, all of this is directly coming from me with my collaboration with F&Q. So you want to get yours now. Remember, we had a limited amount initially, but we sold out. And thankfully, our partners said, hey, we'll make a few more available. These are pre-orders. Get yours today, family. They're pre-orders because they're going to start shipping out in January. So get yours today at thevickicalendar.com. That's thevickicalendar.com. Thank you all so much for your kind well wishes, birthday, Earth Day, well wishes. My birthday is coming up in a few more days on January the 2nd, but my beautiful V-Hive supporters and fan club members have just blown my mind with making this what they call the Vicky Week. I had nothing to do with any of this. Of course, I had nothing to do with even having a fan club. And even you all made the suggestion to call it the V-Hive. So we went with that. So I'm just so pleased that you have supported me. And of course, many of you support me buying through this network that is Fly Nubian Queen. And for that, I'm so grateful. Follow me on Instagram at Vicki X Dillard to find out the latest and all of the details and who's doing what. I'm just over the moon and was excited for so many wonderful shout outs from my dearest supporters and day ones and some newer ones and Brother Tariq Nasheed and so many other amazing things. Even the gifts behind me. You all are just blowing my mind. For my dear sister Kim. Oh my gosh, I'm just humbled and so grateful. And for that, I bow to you and I thank you so much for your love for me and the work that I endeavor to do for our beautiful and amazing people. Again, family, come on in giving us the thumbs up, thumbs up. Be sure to like, be sure to share. Thank you all for your kind words as well. I see them. You make me blush. And I thank you so much. Now, I want us to get straight away into this because you all know I'm working on a new medical regimen. So I'm having to be mindful of how long that I go in order to preserve my health. You all know I'm working on it, right? I'm working on getting it together. And I thank all of you for your prayers and even some of your kind suggestions as well. I know that you love me and that you mean well. Let me show you what I posted a couple of hours ago. Yeah, just about 2 hours ago on my Instagram page. Again, follow me on Instagram at Vicky X Dillard. And then if you go to my stories on Instagram, you can find out where all the party of the Vicky Week is going down. I am just so humbled. But this is what I posted today, family. This is what I posted. Well, I'm waiting for my new phone, Sheila. Somebody talk black to me. This is what I posted today. Are y'all hearing me? And the question that I asked is, why did that shot make this nurse's face look like this? Now, family, you all are well aware that I have the privilege of being on Fly Nubian Queens network, as well as some of our other affiliate networks. You all understand very well that some of the platforms, unfortunately, target truth tellers, specifically Black truth tellers. So just because of my connection with the network and other affiliates, I want you to know that we take extra precaution and cross every T and dot every I in order for us to give no place to these open opposers. So we follow the rules on these different platforms. Somebody talk black to me. So I'm going to speak in code. Nobody does code like Black folks. So y'all hear me today? So you understand what shot I'm talking about related to this vaccine, right? This Colorado vaccine. Y'all know what I'm talking about, Colorado vaccine? That's from the Victionary. Not the dictionary, but the Victionary. So this Colorado immunization, somebody talk black to me. We want to talk about a little bit more. And see, I don't need to embellish nothing. I don't need to add to or take away nothing. But I still want to be able to give you the information. Somebody talk black to me. And you have the insight and knowledge that you need, because I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to tell you something. They are censoring this sister story on mainstream media. And if you watch my show and the replay or what have you for the show that I did on Christmas morning, you will see that I discussed another beautiful Black sister. Are y'all hearing me today? So let's get into this Colorado immunization. Y'all understand what I'm talking about, right? And so I want to tell the story of our dear sister and family. This is important. You know why it's important? It is Black grassroots responsibility, duty, and privilege to be the voice for Black society. Just when they try to tell you how completely toxic and terrible social media is, you all know better than anybody that I have been the victim, and I have certainly had my share of toxic social media rodents. And not all the ways. Somebody talk black to me. Shout out to you, Marlon, all of you that are giving. I bless your gifts 1,000-fold. Are y'all hearing me today? But at the same time, we would be remiss to pretend like mainstream white media has not been more toxic. See, mainstream white media targets social media not just because of its perceived injustice. They target social media because it's the voice of the people, unfiltered and uncontrolled. See, white mainstream media, that was the same media that ignored your very black self and your very black stories that you wanted told. White mainstream media was also the propaganda piece and the extraordinarily essential warfare piece, the false prophet, that when they did discuss your stories, they did it in such an effective way. They stereotyped you. Somebody talk black to me. Didn't they make every black man a thug, a thief, a criminal, and a rapist? We know that the number one sexual deviant and pervert overwhelmingly has a profile that is exactly the same as the number one terrorist on the planet. That's your white mainstream media that went to war to undermine you, stereotype you, and ignore you on purpose, thus shaping the minds and the perception of the public in mass against you. They did not just do it for the purposes of the United States, because their propaganda tactics against you using media, I'm talking about print publication, I'm talking about magazines, I'm talking about television, I'm talking about radio, I'm talking about digitally. It was not only effective to the lower rungs of white supremacy. You all know I often talk about white supremacy has a hierarchy. But the lower rungs of white supremacy's hierarchy, they got the message very clearly. Somebody talk black to me. The lower rungs of white supremacy are the ones that are the vigilantes and the deputized law enforcement agencies that's responsible for also murdering you, and that gets the protection of such laws like stand your ground. Am I speaking right, family? The lower rungs of white society are the ones that tries to spit on you in the grocery store. They're the ones that they're defacing Breonna Taylor statues and saying that Black lives don't matter. The lower rungs of white society are those disgusting Beckys that look like they come from places and spaces that don't smell right, that are telling and teaching your children in school that they're stupid and dumb and monsters and criminals. They're the ones that are referring your very black babies for psych meds. They're the ones that are initiating their criminal records, not the white man. When it comes down to public schools, it's that white woman that initiates what we call the school to prison pipeline. And by the way, do you know who the number one profile sexual pervert and deviant is as a school teacher? Do you know what's the number one profile of pedophilia when it comes down to schools? It's white women that sleep with your babies and your children and that sexualizes them also. And they only get a pat on the back from the courts if charges are even brought. They make them look cute like they're some kind of Barbie or something. But these are predators preying on your babies, turning them out and buck breaking them. Some of these women, these females from white supremacy society, once ate the very chocolate chip cookies that some of y'all black mamas made. You made a beautiful art piece for that school teacher. Y'all play too much. Somebody talk black to me. Thumbs up, family. Thumbs up, like and share. White mainstream media also projected these demonic images to shape the minds of white society, mainstream white America. Watch this. But also to shape and to create a false narrative globally. Why do they do that? That's textbook American warfare. Before America invaded Saddam Hussein's land, what did they first do? They demonized him. Now, mind you, there are pictures of Saddam Hussein shaking hands with Donald Rumsfeld. There are previous pictures of him having been on friendly terms with America. But the moment Saddam Hussein, which some people say he was a bastard, but intelligent people know he was America's bastard, though. When he rebuffed a demand from Bush 1, when he pushed back a little bit after being a devil for America for so long, are y'all talking black to me? That's when America went to making it look like, okay, he gasses his own peoples and stuff like that. He was doing all that and America didn't care nothing about none of that. This is the reason why America prefers criminals. America prefers people with records. In fact, they help to make records. That's the reason why America calls upon people that we say have a long record so that they can use it against you later. They can bribe you and control you and blackmail you later. It's easier. So they went to looking at Saddam Hussein's old record that they were very familiar with, and some people would even say complicit in, and tried to use it against them later. Somebody talk black to me. So this white mainstream media is no friend of ours. White mainstream media is an actual open opposer and enemy to black society. With that being said, she's a liar. That means there is not one thing that comes out of the mouth of America that should not be thoroughly vetted and questioned. Don't forget it was white mainstream media that assisted in the lie, by the way, that Saddam Hussein had weapons of mass destruction. They assisted in all those lies. Are y'all hearing me today? Thumbs up, family. Thumbs up, like and share. Now that I've said all this, you're probably wondering, okay, what's going on, Vicki? Let me read this disclaimer. I'm reading this disclaimer because even though I don't, quote unquote, have to based on the rules, we believe in following the rules and being as circumspect as possible. Is that right, black family? Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news, reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Non-profit or educational or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. I also like to say that the thoughts and opinions that are expressed by me are not necessarily those of Fly Nubian Queen TV or our affiliate or associate networks. They are my own. I don't speak on behalf of any person or entity or religious organization. I speak for myself. Are y'all hearing me today? Now, because we're talking about this Colorado, this cover, what's the word? Immunization. This cover shot. Let's talk about the cover shot. Probably should call it the cover shoot. Let's talk about this Colorado situation. This Colorado shot. I want you to see this clip of this sister. Very brief clip. And listen carefully, dear family, as you continue to give us the thumbs up, like, and share. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, family. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, like, and share. Again, my name is Vicki Dillard, and I'm typically here on FlyNubianQueenTV.com live, weekdays, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on FlyNubianQueenTV.com. I would so love it if you would follow me on Instagram also at Vicki X Dillard, and be sure to get your 2021 Angels Unleashed calendar. I told you they specifically made extra ones available for you because the initial ones sold out. So get yours today. We had a glitch a few days ago, but that glitch has been resolved. Go to thevickicalendar.com. That's thevickicalendar.com. Thevickicalendar.com. Thank you so very much. Now watch this. We only do the truth here. We only do the truth here and provide information and knowledge for intelligent Black people.
Hi, I am a registered nurse in Nashville, Tennessee, and my name is Kalila Mitchell. I'm reaching out to everyone about the COVID-19 vaccination. I recently took the COVID-19 vaccination. After the shot, I felt fine, but within 3 days, I went to the doctor because I had problems with my face. The whole left side of my face, actually. I have Bell palsy now. And as you can see, I can't smile. I'm trying to smile. I'm just kind of embarrassed. But I just want everyone to know that I think this vaccination is the worst thing ever. And I would not give this to anybody, even my worst enemy. Please, America, they do.
That's Miss Nurse Kalila Mitchell. Now, Miss Kalila Mitchell, those are her words. We're not attempting to speak for Kalila, Sister Kalila Mitchell. I'm letting you listen to her talk about that shot. Now, as a professional nurse, I'm sure she was very aware of this, the warnings that were given in advance about the possibility of Bell palsy. Her face now is disfigured, and she now has it. Now, just so you're clear, what did the government say about this in advance? I'm reading to you now from a website, a health website actually, verywellhealth.com. And this was issued just a few days ago. Look what the title says. The title says Bell palsy is in that shot. I'm not even gonna say it. You see the title. Y'all see the title? Bell palsy in that shot. Vaccine trials. It says why you shouldn't worry. This was just written a few days ago, the 20th. It says reports released from Pfizer and Moderna show that 7 that shot vaccine trial participants experienced a type of facial paralysis called Bell's palsy in the weeks after vaccination. It says this rare side effect, in tandem with 3 reports of severe allergic reactions, has raised some alarm about the safety of the new vaccines. An analysis of the number of Bell palsy incidents reported so far, however, shows the rate is no higher than the number of people who experience Bell's palsy in the general population. It goes on to talk about how, according to the National Institutes of Health, Bell's palsy affects about 40,000 people in the United States every year. It goes on to talk more about in the Pfizer BioNTech clinical trial, which included 44,000 participants, for people reported experiencing Bell's palsy, which it says is 0.0091% of the participants. The incidents were reported 3, 9, 37, and 48 days after vaccination. It says no cases of Bell's palsy was reported in the placebo group. This is them admitting for you to be on the lookout for this. They put this out there as one of the possible side effects, but of course they want you to know it's not that many compared to the number of people and blah, 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 blah. Dear family, I'm reporting you the facts and the news. And I did not add to or take away from this Black professional nurse's experience. Is that right, family? As a Black professional, I am sure she knew and was aware of the odds. But she, as a Black professional nurse, is now concerned about it, is on record as telling her story, and wants us to be warned about it. I will not sit here and give you the impression that these shots and immunizations are be all, end all, and cure all. They are not. Also, they don't want us to give you the impression that natural supplements, after you consult with your health professionals, are the end all, be all, or cure all. My thing is this: if you acknowledge all of the possible, some of the possible side effects and symptoms of that shot, and you know that it's not going to prevent all who take it from getting this disease, this virus, why is it that you aren't at least being fair and saying, hey, we know that this shot is not going to do it 100%. And we can't say that these things over here will do it 100%, but we're going to be fair and approach this holistically and say, why don't you make sure that you're as healthy as possible, that you build up your immune system, that you consider taking certain supplements that some Black professional health folks have been telling us to take, like vitamin C, vitamin D, and such things. Keeping a strong, as I just said before, defense system, immune system. Why aren't we hearing a more holistic approach? And why is it that on mainstream white media, you only see medical doctors, but you do not see, yes, zinc and other things? I've heard of different things like that. I'm just giving a few examples, family. Why is it that you only see traditional medical doctors who cannot guarantee that those shots are even going to work for everybody, but they're not bringing on herbalists, naturopathic, and holistic doctors as well. Since we don't know enough about the disease, why aren't we addressing and approaching this with an all hands on deck mentality? Because you're not approaching it that way is why some folks are right to be suspicious. When you seem to shut out alternative voices. I did a show some days ago giving you the 411 on specific laws that make it nearly impossible to sue if these shots and vaccines do really great damage to you. I gave you the receipts and the information on how years ago folk in the vaccine industry that profit from these vaccines went to Congress to rig the system so that they would be shielded from liability. They're indemnified, they're protected legally. So those were some important questions to say, no. If other crimes or malfeasance is not protected in that way, and those individuals can be held accountable in court, why is it that this particular industry gets special protections that not everybody else in the medical industry get? What we're discussing here has nothing to do with conspiracy theory. And of course, they like to label truth tellers that anyway, because the devil is a liar. And they know what the average mind would think when you say, oh, that's a conspiracy theorist. We need you to answer some of these other important questions that may not directly be related to these shots and immunizations, but are interrelated, and that will likely expose much needed knowledge and information. Somebody talk black to me. Thumbs up, family. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Thank those of you that are tuning in right now. My name is Vicki Dillard. I'm a proud contributor here on FlyNewBeanQueenTV.com. I'm typically here weekdays. That's Monday through Friday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern time, right here on FlyNewBeanQueenTV.com live. I know some of you say that you see me on other platforms and other spaces, and I always thank you so much for tuning in to me there and where our show is played and re-aired with our affiliate networks. We're so pleased that we're reaching more people that way. But I emphasize coming to Fly New Bean Queen TV because this is where I'm here live, and it's a predictable schedule. Are you hearing me today? Thank you so very, very much for joining us. Now let me move further. I want to speak to you because you all know we're intelligent Black people. So we're being wise in how we're discussing this, right? Because we're giving no place to the oppressor. You understand where I'm coming from as I'm providing you important things to consider before allowing someone control over your body. We're talking about this cover story. Is that right, family? Now I want to say this to you. Consider with me a tale of two nurses and a tale of two doctors. I said, consider with me a tale of two nurses and a tale of two Black female doctors. What do you mean, Vicki? You know I did a show about it. Do you all remember the show I did on Sandra Lindsay? When the vaccines were first released. Y'all remember? Let me pull up her picture so you can see it better. Do you all remember this Miss Lindsay lady? Sandra Lindsay. Somebody say she's a Black nurse, isn't she? Right now, I want to talk to you about the tale of two nurses, two Black nurses and two Black doctors. Y'all remember this lady right here? And no disrespect, we found out that she's apparently from the Caribbean. Now, we know the mainstream white society has a habit of calling upon non-foundational Black Americans to do the bidding because they know that foundational Black Americans are very intelligent and more reluctant to just give over control and be the face of some madness in this country when we know we have a long history of medical warfare against us and our family and loved ones. Do y'all remember her? Y'all know where I'm going today. What did I say? Today is I'm going to talk about very briefly a tale of two Black female nurses and a tale of two Black female doctors. Well, the picture I just showed you, Sandra Lindsay did a show on her. All of the white world was excited to push this image of Nurse Sandra Lindsay. And these kinds of articles that I'm reading to you from right now, from the Lily, these types of headlines were all over the place. What type of headline? It says, while Sandra Lindsay embodied bravery for many, she conjured ghosts of the nation's not too distant past for others. They said Sandra Lindsay embodied bravery for many. A Black Jamaican-born woman became the first person in the nation to be vaccinated against the novel coronavirus, flickering emotions of pride and skepticism against the backdrop of federal government rollout of vaccines against a virus that's killed over 300,000 Americans. Now, I watched other interviews of this sister, read other reports. She was bragging about the fact that she did this mostly to help convince, she said, because you can hear her thick accent, and y'all know I love my people all over the world, but y'all know I don't play about this open enemy using black-faced people against us. Which is why my goal is to educate our people in the country and around the world so that you're not a tool for white supremacy against us. Are y'all hearing me today? Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, family. Don't forget, thumbs up, like and share. Be sure to check out our store, Fly Nubian, at shopfnq.com. Rather, that's shopfnq.com to get all of your latest apparel and product. And also, especially for the new year, dear family, you want to get my special Angels Unleashed 2021 calendar, where every month there's a special thought, angel thought, and corresponding scripture that's going to bless your life. You won't recognize your life from quarter to quarter because you're going to increase in celestial angelic presence. Get yours today at thevickycalendar.com, thevickycalendar.com. Thank every one of you that have supported so far. We've received an extraordinary amount of support, which is why we made a few more available for those of you who are looking to get one. Thevickycalendar.com. The rest of you, on the count of three, for those of you that haven't, please hit that thumbs up button, like, share, and subscribe. If you're watching us on one of our other affiliate networks or channels, please follow, please share, please engage on the count of three. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Thumbs up. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Make sure that you all are subscribed and that you hit the notification bell to receive all notifications. Thank you so very much. By the way, we're still, I believe, looking for Flynubian queens who can conduct panels, special panels. So if you're interested, please reach out to us at producer@flynubianmedia.com. That's producer@flynubianmedia.com. Thank you so very much. Thumbs up, family. Thumbs up, like and share. Now I'm going to read this first sentence again because I'm going somewhere. What are we talking about? The tale of two Black female nurses and the tale of two Black female doctors. The first sentence said, a Black Jamaican-born woman became the first person in the nation to be vaccinated against the novel coronavirus. I'm going to say that again. A Black Jamaican, this is what the article says. Y'all know I got love for my Jamaicans. But again, I'm talking about how our open enemy uses our Black brothers and sisters around the world to coax us into doing stuff. Watch this. A Black Jamaican-born woman became the first person in the nation to be vaccinated. I read it over again because I wanted to emphasize the first person in the nation. Why is that important? Because they were making Black people the face of this vaccine. Is that right, family? Their goal, by making a Black female nurse the first person in the nation to get vaccinated, was because their goal was to make Black people the face. They didn't just use a Black nurse as the face as a recipient of this vaccine. They used the Black doctor who injected her. Somebody talk Black to me. Or I should say the Black practitioner who injected her. Did y'all see that? So to calm those of you who are unsuspecting and are unfamiliar with your very long Black history of medical warfare and medical malpractice and medical malfeasance and medical murder against Black people, in order to calm your fears, they made sure that they had a Black doctor, a black practitioner injecting the vaccine, and that the first recipient was also Black. You must not forget that all of America went out of this way to put you first in this. All of America engaged in a media and social and medical scheme to alleviate any righteous concerns that you had They altered and amended whatever was necessary in order to convince you to take this vaccine that they are making free. They claimed it's because we are disproportionately affected. Now, we have been talking about how we've been disproportionately affected economically. We have been saying reparations and cut the check for some time now. Is that right, family? We have been talking about how we've been screwed over politically and disenfranchised. Is that right? We have been talking about other metrics of society where we have been disproportionately and negatively affected. But there has been no national, almost overnight effort to resolve or address any of those areas. Am I talking black? I said, am I talking black? We've not seen this kind of energy in any other area. Yes, whether it's business ownership, home ownership, we've not seen none of this. Somebody talk black to me. Y'all know I can't scream right now. Thumbs up, like and share, family. But all of a sudden, overnight, to get us to do this and do this fast, you make a big press conference out of this, and then you use another black male doctor to be one of the next ones to take this first. Or initially, obviously the sister is the first one, but one of the first. Thumbs up, family, like and share. Okay. So you used black doctor practitioners, a black nurse to be the face of this vaccine so that black folks could trust it and take it due to the high numbers of black folks that said we ain't doing this. Watch this. So that's the black nurse. How many of you remember this black doctor who was given all kinds of accolades? I'm going to give you another picture of her, but I want you to see her in a white coat with Donald Trump and Fauci and some other white supremacists. Does anybody recognize this sister right here? Her name is Dr. Kizzmekia Corbett. We have dubbed her Dr. Dizzy Kizzy. Y'all remember her, right? Y'all know I'm going to connect the dots. Just be patient with me. Would you be patient with me? Dr. Kizzmekia Corbett was pushed out there. Dr. Dizzy Kizzy. She's Dr. Dizzy because I remember I provided you with a whole bunch of receipts where she's enthralled with white zaddies. Remember, she said some very ugly things against black, foundational black Americans. She being black herself, but she put out some tweets using the N-word and saying nigga bees and stuff. Y'all remember me sharing that with you? Shout out to other members of black media that was the first ones to reveal that. Dr. Dizzy Kizzy said some anti-black stuff early on. Dr. Dizzy Kizzy also said some other things that folk labeled later on either conspiratorial or whatnot, because she said some stuff about how white men and the medical industry and all this other kind of stuff, they have the advantage in some other things. Well, they tapped Dr. Dizzy Kizzy because she not only said that, she also put out a tweet talking about how she was wanting to get with her zaddy, a white man, and dissed black folks, talking about that some of the circles and some of the company that black folks keep, she called us the N-word and nigger bees and stuff. So she basically wanted her a white man with some swag. Somebody talk black to me. She basically wanted her a white man with some swag. Watch this. So this ABC News article, y'all see this? That was written almost a couple of weeks ago. Says Kizzmekia Corbett, an African-American woman, is praised as a key scientist behind COVID-19 vaccine. So do you see the media propaganda? So the media gets some obscure black doctor, Kizzmekia, Dr. Dizzy Kizzy, also known as Dr. Dizzy Kizzy Corbett, and start praising her as a key scientist behind COVID-19. So the media knows that we've been informing you of the long, diabolical, and undeniable anti-black medical history we've experienced in this country. So they didn't want to take a chance on just getting a black face. Sister Lindsay, Miss Lindsay, I showed you, the nurse. They didn't just want the person who was going to be the first one to receive the vaccine to be black. They didn't just want the person who's injecting her to be black. They want you now to believe that the person that's invented the vaccine is black. Because they know we've been doing our due diligence, exposing the entire anti-black system and all of its agents and many folk that are complicit. So they said, okay, let's cover all our bases. They said, okay, to cover all our bases, we're going to just, not only we're going to make sure the first person in the whole nation to take the vaccine is a black woman. The person that gives it to is going to be a black woman. Watch this. Then now we gotta get a black person to blame for the actual shot, the actual vaccine. Who helped to invent it? We got to give her credit where credit really isn't due, because she was just one of many staffers. And even if she was as instrumental as Dr. Fauci tries to say she was, as I've made clear to you before, Dr. Dizzy Kizzy Corbett, she's not the distributor of this stuff. That means that she doesn't know what might be added to or taken away from whatever little stuff she playing around in somebody's lab. They got her little butt over there in a corner somewhere in a lab. And every time she does something that looks like she done mixed something right, they give her a pat on the back and start telling her she a breakthrough. And then they start calling their political contacts, their media contacts to pump her up and to make you think she's something that she's actually not, so that you will trust her. But you're still not thinking deep enough about it to say, wait a minute. Now, by the time this formula gets out there, she doesn't know what mess making could possibly be going on. She know what she putting together in that little lab, experimenting and stuff. But she does not know, again, what may be added to or taken away from what she was mixing up in the lab. So they felt that they covered their base scientifically by making this obscure woman the face, and now they're calling her the lead. She's the lead for this stuff. Y'all know darn well Black folks couldn't beg or qualify themselves to any kind of position like that. Now white society is festooning her with all of these appellations and monikers and labels and awards, twirling her around, making her dizzy. Dizzy off of what white folk doing to blow her up so that she would be an effective enough tool to convince us to trust every element of this process, which most of us do not. Somebody say Dr. Dizzy. Now that I've reminded you of this Black doctor, Black female doctor, pay attention. Remember, I inducted her into the League of Mammies. Y'all remember that? That prestigious award, that prestigious distinction, rather, of being the latest inductee into LOM, L-O-M, the League of Mammies. I've explained to you how white supremacists target Black women who are in very powerful positions, who are willing to cape for zaddy white supremacy and their systems, but at the same time also dog out Black people, which is why Dr. Dizzy Kizzy made the cut into LOM. She made the cut because she put out tweets for her desire to have a zaddy with some swag. And at the same time, she dogged out Black society. Remember, I told you, it's one thing for you to decide to swirl. That's your business. But it's another thing for you to cape for white supremacy, go off into that world and become their latest bed wench, and then you turn around and dog out Black people, baby. No, you are a problem. Some of y'all not content with just being over there with them. You got to speak ill of and talk crazy to Black people and endanger us at the same time. That's how you become a member of LOM. Y'all hit that thumbs up button, like and share. Thumbs up, family. Kismikia Corbett, an African-American woman, is praised as key scientist behind COVID-19 vaccine. That's the article. Dr. Anthony Fauci, the nation's top infectious disease expert and a constant presence on TV during the pandemic, was asked a blunt question during a forum hosted last week by the National Urban League. Can you talk about the input of African-American scientists in the vaccine process? Now, if you all saw that clip, which I did, I played the actual clip from that. That funny looking sellout who asked him that, they were being condescending when they asked Dr. Fauci that, because they were being condescending against Black folk, because it was almost as if, how dare we even question white people or be suspicious. Now, first of all, we need to clear up this whole notion that's out there that Black folk are suspicious of the medical industry. What we need to be saying is white folks have been devilish and diabolical, plotting and scheming ways to take the life and to harm Black people scientifically and medically. Notice they don't say it like that. It's like they blamed it on us They just suspicious. No, we have a long history. The headlines all over should be written, America has tried to harm and murder Black people scientifically and medically. So necessarily, they are reluctant. See, what you guys got to understand why they so quick to try to shut down anybody that talks about this Colorado shot. Read through the lines. It's not even about just this shot, just this immunization. This issue is about America's anti-Black medical history in general. One of the things you all need to say the moment they try to pin you in a corner and make you get specific about one thing about this shot and vaccine or another, you need to let them know, baby, you are entirely missing the point. This Colorado vaccine is just one tiny part. Excuse me. It's one tiny part into this vast history against Black people. Are y'all hearing me today? Watch this. National Urban League. Can you talk about the input of African American scientists in the vaccine process? They plan to ask him that question. So that, once again, the National Urban League pretends to be an organization that represents Black folks, but that's the same organization that's showing all of this trust of this white man that is Dr. Fauci and others in the medical industry. And watch this, they're helping them. They're helping the other side, excuse me, to have effective talking points so that we may trust that which we don't know. Are y'all hearing me? This is what makes your Black bootlick so dangerous, is that they, like Roland Martin behind the scenes, when he was helping to sneak based on information and belief, and based on the reports, even though Roland tried to deny it, there's no reason to believe him at all. We found out after the WikiLeaks documents that came out that showed secret emails from Hillary Clinton, they showed those secret emails between her and a Black political operative by the name of Donna Brazile. Donna Brazile used to be one of the top chairpersons, chairwomen with the DNC. She ran Al Gore's presidential campaign. She was a regular contributor on CNN before they fired her. And now she's on Fox. Remember, it was those leaks that led to us having insight based on the reports. Again, Roland tries to deny it, but there's no reason to believe him. He did not give even a full-throated denial, by the way. It was not a believable denial. And all of the evidence is stacked against him. I've already dealt with that in great detail, but nevertheless, he was secretly, based on the reports, connected to and involved in background dealings with the Democratic Party to assist Hillary Clinton. But you and our very Black selves would never know that information if it wasn't for the leak. So your Black bootlicks, like the Urban League, helps the Dr. Fauci's of the world and others, instead of respecting the issues of Black folk, instead of bringing on other Black alternative medical folk, therefore truly making it holistic, instead of holding white folk accountable and using that as an opportunity to further demand a reparations, since white folks are now admitting that they've tried to harm and kill us in the past. Your black bootlicks, your bones and biscuits, your black boule and stuff, they are helping to find slick ways to posture and to assist the narrative of the other side against you. Somebody talk black to me. Thumbs up, family. Like and share. Watch this. This ABC News article says, after the Urban League host asked, can you talk about the input of African American scientists in the vaccine process? Watch this. The next sentence says, Fauci did not hesitate when giving his answer. Quote, the very vaccine that's one of the two that has absolutely exquisite levels, 94 to 95% efficacy against clinical disease, and almost 100% efficacy against serious disease that are shown to be clearly safe, that vaccine was actually developed in my institute. See, that's a problem right there, the fact that it was done in your institute. You brought this medical mammy onto your medical plantation. I'm going to need y'all to connect the dots. Y'all know I wish I could scream right now, but Vicky's got to take care of her body. I'm going to need somebody to scream for me today. He said that vaccine was actually developed in my institute's vaccine research center by a team of scientists led by Dr. Barney Graham and his close colleague, watch this, Dr. Kizmekia Corbett, or Kizzy Corbett, Fauci told the forum. Kizzy is an African-American scientist who is right at the forefront of the development of the vaccine. Y'all, they don't give you credit for nothing. They ain't trying to level you up on nothing. They're not trying to give you raises and bonuses and titles. Now they're all of a sudden trying to give you credit for what? White folks don't never want to give you credit for nothing. White folks never want you to be at the front of nothing that's positively beneficial for you. And notice the article says, after the sellout Urban League host asked him this question, it says Fauci did not hesitate. The reason he didn't hesitate is because it was a plan the whole time. If you ask me, based on information and belief, Dr. Dizzy Kizzy, I'm sure she's an intelligent woman. I'm not here to dog out any black, because y'all know I believe in the big black brain. I brag on the big black brain. I tell you that that's the number one enemy to white supremacist society is the big black brain. But Dr. Dizzy Kizzy is not the only beautiful black scientific brain. They, I believe, found faults and weaknesses in her worldview concerning white supremacy and black people and thought her to be useful for their purposes. Y'all play too much. Some of you Negroes, bones and biscuits and bootlicks that have high profile positions, you want to convince us it's because you are smarter than us and special. It's not. It's that white supremacy has found weaknesses in you that works for them. You're actually the weakest link in black society. They don't have as nearly as much massaging and manipulating and lying to do with you that they would have to do with a truly versed and thorough black individual. When you see the Joy Reids on TV, we ain't hating on them, because I was one of her supporters before I realized that she was the epitome of a league of mammy. Same with Jamil Hill. When she was with ESPN, I thought the sister was special. Till I realized later, wait a minute, whoa. She out here attacking black men, and she calling Minister Farrakhan's work vile and telling black folks we're culturally arrogant and attacking other black men like Deshaun and talking crazy. Then I was like, oh God, I had to take back all that support and love. You a tool. Some of us get it twisted and get confused because we see them in high profile places. So we think, oh, they must be special. They done level up. They done did something. They know something. Or they have a skill or an aptitude or a capacity that we know. The only capacity that they have that you don't have is to mammy and to coon and to sambo and to shuck and jive. They are particularly proficient at that. Don't you know that they were looking at Dr. Dizzy Kizzy's Twitter page and they knew she talked crazy to black folks and that she had a fetish for white boys? Don't y'all know to the degree that she said some little thing, some little conspiratorial thing, they knew that they could just bring her in and work her and give her a little position and all of that would go away? They knew that her love for white zaddy would override any of those other things. And they were correct. Somebody talk black to me. Watch this. Fauci, it says, did not hesitate when giving this answer. Fauci didn't hesitate because he was prepped and prepared in advance for that question, because he, in my opinion, as is the history and pattern of all of racist white America, prepped and picked Dr. Dizzy Kizzy a long time ago. It's the same reason Barack Obama didn't know that behind the scenes, some sick white billionaire who was angry at the Clintons used Barack Obama and put his dollars and his media connections behind Barack Obama. And then after he saw Obama, who was a nobody to most of us, do that speech at the DNC and told him he was going to run for president, and Barack told him after that, no, I'm not. Only for Barack to come back sometime later to say, okay, yes, I am. That's what it means, family. As Minister Farrakhan even said about Barack Obama, he was selected before he was elected. Y'all play too much. That's a similar situation, in my opinion, with Dr. Dizzy Kizzy. See, some of you don't know that you are a pawn. You're just a piece of a game that they're playing. And because the white supremacists think long range in their own interest, they position you in spaces and places, telling you you getting a promotion, telling you you smart, telling you you passed some kind of funny test that don't nobody know nothing about, and you did outstanding on it. Then they isolate your funny looking self. Oh, this is good. They isolate you around other white people. They make sure that you don't have a strong connection to the black grass society that's going to keep your funny looking self in check and keep you connected to reality. Another reason why they made Barack Hussein Obama publicly denounce and demonize Minister Farrakhan, Reverend Jeremiah Wright, which were both black, strong, masculine, righteous symbols who knew and were very vocal about America's very real racist history. They can't take the chance on none of that influence and impact anywhere around you in places of power. They don't want to compete with the truth. So for the first time in your life, you're invited to some country club. It's not because you're special. It's because they need to isolate you to make sure that there's not any competing conscious truths around. They want you to talk down to and demonize your own people, because those who you demonize and look down to, you don't listen to, because you worship Zaddy. You should look at some of the pictures of Dr. Kizmikia when she around Dr. Fauci. She dizzy for real. Dizzy on Zaddy. Dizzy on Zaddy. Can y'all see this picture of her right here? With that gazing look on the eyes, that look that you want to have with your own man when you deeply in love and you know you're looking at a black guy. She got that look for them. She is amazed and dizzy. Look at her. Enthralled by the nothingness of it all. And the reason she gets it confused is not because what's happening in that lab. Them people don't fool with her in that lab like that. It's only every now and then that she been around Dr. Fauci in the last couple of weeks more in her life than she ever has in all the time she's been working with his organization. I can promise you. She probably was excited because this is one of the first and second times in her life she ever seen him. When the time came to push her forward so that she could be the fall gal for anything that can go wrong with this madness, she thinking out of nowhere she's getting accolades and promotions and that allegedly all of her hard work done finally paid off. Girl, if you don't sit down and know when you getting played. Some of y'all don't know the difference. Thumbs up, family. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Now that I've made this point, what point? Remember I said we're talking about now the tale of two black female doctors, the tale of two black female nurses. So the female doctor that I want us to focus in on that was made to be the face of this vaccine is who? Dr. Kizzmekia Corbett, right? Dr. Dizzy Kizzy, also known as, right? Is that right, family? Then, early on, around this, after, when the vaccine first rolled out, the first black face was what? Nurse Sandra Lindsay. These are the faces of this Colorado shot, right? Again, y'all are reading through the lines. But something since that time is two new faces have emerged. Well, whatever could you mean, Vicki? You just heard from one of the faces. It was the first video that I let you listen to, Nurse Kalila Mitchell. What did Nurse Kalila Mitchell say, family? Keep it in mind, the other black nurse, Lindsay.
Hi, I am a registered nurse in Nashville, Tennessee, and my name is Kalila Mitchell. I'm reaching out to everyone about the COVID-19 vaccination. I recently took the COVID-19 vaccination. After the shot, I felt fine, but within 3 days, I went to the doctor because I had problems with my face. The whole left side of my face, actually. I have Bell palsy now.
My question to all of white media, my question to the medical industry, who's going to be, which nurse now should be the face of this shot? Should it be Nurse Lindsay? Or Nurse Kalila? You all intentionally use black females, and pay attention, family. They didn't even use a black male at first. The black male, the other black brother, he came later. They didn't even use a black male scientist initially. when you think about the Black female and how our power works, family, we're nurturers. There tends to be a faith and a reliance in a woman more quickly than it tends to be for a man. And when most folk think of mothers, we know we got some ratchet mothers out there, but typically speaking, the Black woman is an unmatched caretaker and mother and nurturer. So when you think of the Black female, you immediately think someone that nurtures you, that cares for you, that's going to do good. They're messing with your Black psyche by strategically positioning these new League of Mammy members. Are y'all catching it? Y'all know I wish I could scream. I can't right now. But now you have another Black nurse that's emerged. And this Black nurse that has emerged did not emerge because the news, the white news, is paying her any attention. I was researching and researching and researching. I had a hard time finding a white major publication, written publication, that even told the story of this Black nurse, Miss Kalila Mitchell. It is folk like me and other members of Black media and the grassroots folk that's even promoting and highlighting her story. We're the ones that's telling her story. I want to know, where is your ABC, CBS, NBC, Fox News, NBC, CBS folk at? They don't want her to be the face of it because her face is the face of Bell palsy. God today. And if they're being fair, they would tell the whole story and report it because it's the right thing to do, no matter how, quote unquote, rare they claim it to be. So we've got two nurses now, family, who's got something to say about that shot. And I want to ask you today, okay, who are you listening to now? Who's convincing you now? And why should we listen to Nurse Lindsay and look at Nurse Lindsay, but ignore Nurse Mitchell? But that ain't all. For those of you that saw my Christmas early morning edition show, I discussed this amazing story. What did we say we're talking about now? A tale of two Black female nurses, the tale of two Black female doctors. Dr. Dizzy Kizzy was made the face of this vaccine. Is that right, family? They want us to go around saying, in Dr. Dizzy Kizzy we trust. Somebody Black talk Black to me. But since then, there's another Black female doctor whose story has emerged. Now, what makes this sister's story so unique is that once again, it was the Black grassroots that's been pushing her story. But white media grabbed a hold of it because there is a unique element of the story that the white mainstream media seeks to control. They're emphasizing, I'm going to tell you what it is in a minute. I want you to listen to the Black doctor now. I want you to see this Black doctor as the counterpart to Dr. Dizzy Kizzy. You've seen the two female nurses now, right? Now let's listen to this Black female doctor. Just before you do, fam, I'm going to make sure everybody is slamming that thumbs up button, that you're liking, that you're sharing, that you're subscribing. For those of you that are just tuning in, my name is Vicki Dillard. I'm a very proud contributor right here on FlyNubianQueenTV.com, the network for melanated people like you. Please make sure that you come in giving us the thumbs up, liking, and sharing. Make sure that you follow me on Instagram at Vicky X Dillard. There's a whole lot of fun stuff afoot. I don't want you to miss it. I'm posting all kinds of stuff on my Instagram page that I think you might be interested in. Go to Vicky X Dillard on Instagram and follow me there. That's Vicky X Dillard. And also follow me on Twitter at Dillard Vicky. That's my last name first. This is a conversation for intelligent Black people. And because we believe in following all the little rules for these social media platforms, we're being very wise when we're talking about that shot and that vaccine. You know what I'm talking about. So we're giving it a new name, that Colorado thing. Now that I've showed you the two nurses, the first nurse they pushed on us, Miss Lindsay, the first one in the entire nation to be vaccinated. And then I've showed you another prominent Black nurse, Sister Kalila Mitchell. But white media is pushing all the other stories. But it's Black media that's being the voice for this sister. Dr. Kizzmekia Corbett was said to be the face, the Black female face of this vaccine. But since that time, another Black female doctor's story and face has emerged. And once again, we were the ones, the Black grassroots. Once we got a hold of her story, we started spreading it. And now the white media is trying to spread it, but I'm going to tell you what angle they're using to tell this Black doctor story. Thumbs up, like, and share, family. And don't forget, we still have our amazing 2021 Angels Unleashed calendar. Get yours today at thevickycalendar.com. That's thevickycalendar.com. Thevickycalendar.com. Watch this.
Yesterday, Dr. Bannock.
Just so you know, you're listening to Dr. Susan Moore. I believe she was an Indianapolis doctor. She herself is a physician that ended up getting COVID-19 and needed treatment. Listen.
Today, Dr. Bannock, Bannec, wanted to send me home. You know, at that time, I'd only received 2 treatments of the remdesivir. He said, you don't need it. You're not even short of breath. I said, yes, I am. Then he went on to say, you don't qualify.
Black family. There's a little more to that clip. Our sister ended up dying. Some of her family came out later and said how she had to fight for treatment, which that was clear even in the rest of the video that she put out. The sister said that they treated her like she was a drug addict, basically. And while I understand her saying that because she was needing more drugs and she didn't want the doctor to get the opinion that she was some drug head, I made the point early on, this is no disrespect to this sister, that our Black elite don't understand. It's not even because that doctor believed that she was some drug head. He knew she was a professional physician. It doesn't matter what your position is, Black family. It doesn't matter what your title is, what status you hold. I don't believe for one second that that white doctor treated her like that because he believed she was a drug addict. He did it because she was a Black woman. That white doctor knows full well that the number one client that tends to be an opioid head or get hooked on such drugs such as that and prescription drugs and medical drugs like that are white folk. He did it because she was Black. My question now, Are we going to give more air time to the Black professional, Dr. Dizzy Kizzy? Somebody talk Black to me. Or should we be now interested in a new Black female face, a doctor, Dr. Susan, yes, Moore, whose stories emerged? You guys, isn't it interesting how the universe works? But here they go, making these Black mammies, medical mammies, scientific mammies, and nurses the face of this vaccine. But since said time, we've heard stories from other Black professional female nurses and doctors who speak on the hells of this shot. Now, let me tell you what they're doing with this doctor, Susan Moore. The reason white media started to pick up on Dr. Susan Moore, the sister you just heard, her story, is because they are seeking to focus on the fact that the doctor didn't believe she wasn't in pain. So in that instance, they're moving it away from the issue being the actual COVID-19 issue, the Colorado issue. They're moving it away from issues with the vaccine. They get to focus more on what? Oh, the doctor didn't believe she was in pain. But all of it is the same, family. I've given you information in past shows that it was the white Europeans that are responsible for the extraordinary spread of COVID. Is that right, family? I've given you the details. This is what's reported and how it's said in the reports of who's weaponized this. We've given you details on the privileged white folk like Trump. What's the former mayor out of New Jersey? The heavy set when they ended up getting it. Chris Christie. Remember, they got the best of care and they received drug treatment that the average person couldn't get. Remember, she was begging for some of that. And they only wanted to give her limited amounts. Did you all see that? All of it is interconnected. So the media, in the instance with Dr. Susan Moore, they're only talking about the story because they're choosing to focus on the fact, oh, the white doctor didn't believe she was in pain. And they got to shift the conversation away from that vaccine issue. It's the tale of two stories. A tale of two Black female nurses and a tale of two Black female doctors. And right now I'm curious, with all the Black female bootlicks that's out there and Black feminists and all these knuckleheads that told us that we better vote for Joe Biden, I wonder, will you tell their story in the way they're giving it? Or will Joy Reid ignore Nurse Mitchell's experience and what she said as a Black healthcare professionals? Or are you guys going to just continue to put out the voices of your hand-picked, predictable bootlicks that's just going to parrot the regular medical talking points? Are you going to pretend like they're just a one-off, that she wasn't intelligent enough to know what happened to her or what was going on or what caused it? If the voices of Black women are so important, wonder will you give them a microphone? I suspect not, because they can't afford to miss one crumb from their heavily baked and burnt biscuits. There's so much more that I want to say, but I want to just briefly get off of even the subject of this Colorado immunization, this Colorado shot. Yes, I want to get off of that subject and just simply give you just a few headlines, even from the book, Understudying the Assault on the Black Man. You can always get that at NOI.org. I always talk about this book. And on page 211, chapter 13, it says, Jolly West, the CIA's pivot from psychosurgery to crack cocaine. Let's just put the other issue of that Colorado vaccine to the side. Watch this. Just the story of Dr. West and Operation Ferdinand. How many of you all remember hearing that? It says that in the 1970s, the National Institute of Mental Health supported one of the most covert and evil experiments that were basically aimed at us. And brown people, following the 1960s riots in Watts. Y'all better pay attention. What did I just say? This is actually a quote. In the 1970s, the National Institute of Mental Health supported one of the most covert and evil experiments that were aimed at Black folk and Hispanics, it says, following the 1960s riots in Watts. Louis Jolyon West of UCLA's Neuropsychiatric Institute created the theory that the events were tied to genetic and racial factors, and those prone to such violence were mostly young Black urban males. He proposed a, quote, violence initiative that would see to it that offenders be treated with psychosurgery and chemical castration. Y'all play too much. Y'all know that's all I do is receipts. Y'all know all we do is connect the dots. We've been saying that for almost 3 years now since I have been on Fly Nubian Queen's platform. I was on Fly Nubian Queen's YouTube, Facebook platform before I got here. And I was just looking the other day and it's been closer to 3 years. I'm amazed. Watch this. Did y'all hear the last part of what I just said? The CIA's pivot from psychosurgery to crack cocaine. What did I say? Louis Jolyon West of UCLA's Neuropsychiatric Institute. He's the one that created the theory that the events were tied to genetic and racial factors. This was after Watts. Y'all better pay attention. After Watts, remember I've done numerous shows telling you how over 100 cities went up in flames, caused millions and millions of dollars of destruction, many lives lost. I'm talking about several what they call riots, but we call them righteous uprisings that took place even before the assassination of Dr. King. The assassination of Dr. King took it to a whole nother level. But Black males who did not have nuclear codes, Black masculine men mostly, it was some sisters too, don't get it twisted, but the ones that was causing the most damage were the Black warriors who did not have the weaponry nor the sophisticated military access and arsenal that white folk do. They were giving America all of the business. Numerous people were arrested. Many lives were lost. Many cities and businesses went up in flames. And these things happen from mostly Black males, our warrior class. Y'all know I always call, I don't like, they like to call my gangbangers and all that. I tell you, those are warrior class. They intentionally, they was giving them so much hell, specifically after Watts. What did the opposition do? They tried to figure out a diabolical and covert, in other words, a sneaky and unsuspecting way to deal with that black masculine male. Y'all play too much. I've discussed this many times in the past. So that's why I said, let's just put the shot and the vaccine to the side. I got to remind you of the scientific and medical mess making that's been happening for a long time. And Tuskegee is just one small part of it. Whenever white folks go to admitting Tuskegee, that's because they want you to think that's a one-off and that was rare. We got a long list of American crimes. Thumbs up, family, like and share. Let me do this quickly. I know I got to get out of here quickly. What was the last part I said? This came about, what did I say? Following the 1960s riots, y'all, specifically in Watts. They couldn't just go to law enforcement to put this one down. Because them brothers was doing some stuff to, y'all play too much. Law enforcement can take care of that by itself. They had to use their medical and scientific soldiers to scheme. I'm only talking about facts and history. This Louis Jolyon West of UCLA's Neuropsychiatric Institute, what did he do? He created a fake theory that was mostly aimed at what? Young black urban males. He proposed a violence initiative, what did I say? That would see to it that offenders be treated with psychosurgery and chemical castration. Y'all play too much. West's idea was to test his treatment in 2 high schools. It says one black and the other Hispanic. On May 23rd, 1972, Dr. William Sweet testified before Congress on behalf of a continuation of federal support for the psychosurgery work of his Operation Ferdinand colleagues, Dr. Vernon Mark and Dr. Frank Irvin. Look up these names. Sweet revealed that a much broader program of violence control was in the making, including mass screening programs and large treatment centers for quote unquote violent individuals, i.e., targeted black males falsely tagged as violence prone. Y'all play too much. When did they start this mess, family? Following the 1960s riots in Watts. These diagnostic centers would also screen for mythical XYY males. Sweet disclosed that the pilot program would be in California. He therefore requested funds for the chief architect of the California program, saying, and I'm quoting y'all, the testimony is being presented on behalf of the Neuropsychiatric Institute of the University of California at Los Angeles, under the direction of Louis Jolyon West, and the Brain Research Institute of the same university, under the direction of Professor John French. Dr. Jolly West, so that his name is Louis Jolyon West, but he was known for short, Dr. Jolly West. Look at his jolly looking, funny looking, look like he come from someplace that don't smell right self. Look at him. And forgive me, I should have gave a disclaimer that this might be disturbing to your babies and stuff. Forgive me. I should have given a disclaimer before I just put this in front of you like that. I apologize. Dr. Jolly West and his colleagues called him, was then one of the boys, the Operation Ferdinand boys. Dr. Ernest Roden was one of West's mentors. The The socio-pharmacology paradigm grew out of West's ecological model from his students at UCLA. West's involvement with what we have called Operation Ferdinand makes this operation transparently a CIA-directed or managed operation. West was a profoundly influential operative in CIA mind and behavioral control projects. As Walter Board observes, and I'm quoting Walter now, perhaps the greatest champion of a zombie America is one of the most respected figures in American psychiatry today, Dr. Louis Jolyon Jolly West. Beginning with brainwashing work for the Air Force, how many of y'all remember this? MK Ultra, work with the CIA, West has positioned himself smack in the midst of the invisible war. West's career appears to be a carefully constituted espionage cover, always in the forefront on invisible war technology. Every time I do a show discussing this Colorado shot, read through the lines, family. I've mentioned it a couple of times. I'm going to give you a new story about another diabolical scientific or medical program. One more quick part about this, as you keep giving us a thumbs up, liking, and sharing. Between 1952 and 1956, West was the Air Force chief psychiatry at Lackland Air Force Base in San Antonio, Texas. He had top secret clearance with Air Force intelligence as he interviewed returning American pilots downed and captured in Korea by Communist Chinese. In this way, he studied and became expert in the Chinese methods of brainwashing. He moved to the University of Oklahoma, where he was head of the Department of Psychiatry, Neurology, and Behavioral Sciences between 1956 and 1969. While he acquired a top secret CIA clearance for the MK Ultra work he did. Y'all listen. Excuse me. Keep giving us a thumbs up, liking, and sharing. I'm almost done. I'm reading a quote now. The Search of the Manchurian Candidate, 1991. This is a quote. Since World War II, the United States government, led by the Central Intelligence Agency, has searched secretly for ways to control human behavior. John Marks, I'm giving you the receipt. The Search for the Manchurian Candidate, 1991. The CIA's behavioral control program officially began with bureaucratic structure on April 20th, 1950, and was codenamed Operation Bluebird. The object was to find a drug or combination of drugs that effectively allowed the CIA to control the human behavior of targeted groups deemed enemy. Agency scientists took an interest in the behavioral sciences. Y'all better listen. Psychology, psychiatry, sociology, and anthropology as help aids to pharmacology in the manipulation of an enemy. There's a lot more here where it says a refinement of the program of Richard Helms, the most important sponsor of mind control research within the CIA. The program became MK Ultra on April 13, 1953. Its aim was to gain control over human behavior through the covert use of chemical and biological weapons. Dear family, it's a lot there. But I'm gonna reach this last part. I know I said I did, but can you give me a couple more minutes? Thumbs up, like, and share. Thumbs up, like, and share. Don't forget, we also have a school at flynubianbusiness.com to learn about how to build a Black business from Black folk. Go to flynubianbusiness.com. Important links are in the chat, so be sure to watch that. Shout out to our moderators in the digital building. And shout out to the V-Hive that's in the digital building, our supporters. We're so appreciative of you. Listen, from the outset, I'm done for real after this, family. From the outset, the CIA's Mind Behavior Control Program had an explicit domestic agenda. The agency and the Army Corps will frequently collaborate, both conceived of clandestinely assaulting urban areas, y'all know I wish I could scream, with select chemical and biological agents. One CIA agent admitted, I'm quoting a CIA agent. I'm quoting a CIA agent right now. Quote, we thought about the possibility of putting some LSD in a city water supply and having the citizens wander around in a more or less happy state, not terribly interested in defending themselves. Major General William Creasy, Chief Officer of the Army Chemical Corps, I'm giving you names, you research it, was awarded a budget by Congress to investigate drugs as psychochemical weapons to be used in a new kind of warfare. It was called non-kill warfare, family. Some of you all who have been one of my day ones, if you've watched me for the last year or so, you know I've given you this information before. But I've got to connect the dots when it's necessary. I've got to remind you of stuff. I can't just tell you stuff one time. This stuff is heavy. And it's real. And it's America's history. And aside from the shot, forget the vaccine, forget the immunization. I'm saying because of this diabolical and historical and provable history of America, this is why we have questions. And this is why some of us are telling you, you better go sit your funny looking self down. They came up with a new kind of warfare, y'all. It was called the non-kill. So those of you that's out there excited that all of the weed in the world is legalized, and they now lacing the weed with all kind of stuff, you think you know where you get, I know where I get mine from. And you wonder why all your funny looking selves are so docile and laid back with your chilled out self. You chilled out when we're dying. You chilled out when we're being destroyed. See, those mostly black males, when they were setting all of America on fire, that bothered America. She had to do something to mess with your minds and your bodies to make you docile. And they introduced what they call what? A new kind of war. What was it called? A non-kill war. See, some of you are alive, but you're useless. Lord, I'm screaming in my spirit. Some of you are alive, but you are useless to black liberation. You are comfortable in white society. You're okay with not having your own. You're okay with ducking and diving and cooperating and complying with America's new Jim Crow. That's why I got a lot of haters out there. See, a lot of my haters, North Carolina fans, some of my North Carolina fans reached out to me and they said, Vicky, we smoke, but we listen to you, sis. We know you don't like it, but we listen to you. Then I got my other big mouth haters, that's big weed smokers, that don't want me talking about this. Y'all play too much. We know that weed is not the only thing that they use, because they use our own water and food to take us out. But listen, this new kind of war, Major General William Creasy, Chief Officer, remember, I don't want you to forget the name because I want you to look up these receipts. I'm talking to intelligent black people. Don't even just take my word for it. Major General William Creasy, Chief Officer of the Army Chemical Corps, was awarded a budget by Congress to investigate drugs as psychochemical weapons to be used in a new kind of warfare, non-kill warfare, or warfare without death. Watch what it says. Rather than burn the enemy dead with bombs, Creasy championed the idea of waging war with incapacitating agents. he proposed testing. Somebody say testing. Testing. Isn't that the issue of the day? Testing. Somebody say guinea pig. Somebody say testing. Somebody say testing. Somebody say testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. That's our code. When I say testing, testing, 1, 2, 3, you know what I'm talking about. You know who I'm talking about being used as America's guinea pig for everything. He proposed testing the effectiveness of potential psychochemical weapons on a domestic civilian population. Quote, I was attempting to put on with a good cover story to test to see what would happen in subways, for example, when a cloud was laid down on a city. It was denied on reasons that always seem a little absurd to me. End quote. It says that the plan then was to covertly assault a city with a chemical or biological agent and hide the Army's tracks by way of a fabricated cover story. This is the military and intelligence community's modus operandi. Whatever the reasons Creasy's horrible plan was denied, if it was actually denied, the CIA will certainly carry out unthinkable, this is Dr. Wesley talking now, the CIA will certainly carry out unthinkable and illegal covert operations against private citizens and urban communities. Thank you, Otis, for your gift. I hear you, brother. I bless your gift 1,000-fold. As Colin Ross, MD, reports, after reading through 15,000 CIA documents released to him per his Freedom of Information Act request, I can't even read all this, family. It's too long. The CIA mind control experiments were interwoven with radiation, chemical, and biological weapons experiments conducted on children, comatose patients, pregnant women, the general population, and other unwitting groups who had no idea they were subjects in secret experiments. Our issue, family, ain't even about just these shots and vaccines. It's about this long and provable and undeniable diabolical history aimed and targeted first and foremost at Black society. And every time I do a story about this, we're going to pivot from this pandemic to America's very anti-Black medical and scientific history. Thank you so much for tuning into The Vicky Show. Be sure not to miss tomorrow, same time, same place, God willing, 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. I know we're moving more and more to more upcoming holidays this week. If I do go early, I went early on Christmas, so I'll just stay tuned for that, family. But always check into Fly Nubian Queen to see when I might be posting stuff. Like I said, the holidays and different things are up and down, so I may go early a couple of times. So make sure that you stay tuned in always to what's happening here. You know I'm going to give you your daily war briefing. Thank you so much for your love. Thank you for attending. Make sure that you keep liking, sharing, subscribing. Still share this link out to as many people as you can and tell them that the Vicky Show is on. And we're speaking in code, but we know what we're talking about. We're focused on our entire history with America. We're not just dealing with this present current pandemic. Somebody talked Black to me and just the current shots that's at play. Make sure that you get your 2021 Angel calendars before they sell out. We already sold out the first amount that we were going to do. They specifically printed more, made the decision to make more more available to you. Get your pre-orders now at thevickycalendar.com. Thevickycalendar.com. Somebody put that in the chat. Thevickycalendar.com. Get yours today. Get some for you, your family, and loved ones. They ship out in January, but buy them today. Thevickycalendar.com. I promise you, you're going to love them. They're going to be gorgeous. I did the thoughts for every month, a thought for every month, an angel thought, along with a corresponding powerful, magical scriptural text. It's going to change your life. I promise you. Thevickycalendar.com. Follow me on Instagram, family. Vicky X Dillard. Vicky X Dillard. Follow me on Twitter at Dillard Vicky. Would you do that? Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure that you check out our store at shopfnq.com, which I mentioned it a couple of times today already. And check out our Black Business School at the flynubianbusiness.com to learn about how to build a Black business. It makes no sense that you will be relying 100% on your open enemy in times like this. Even if you want to do a business full time, it may be worth your time to research and to look into having a Black business as an additional form of income. Somebody talk Black to me. I love you. You are my joy, my bliss. I bow to you, dear family. You're such a special people. Don't forget, we're in our finest hour.